welcome back to Parsimony. I'm working on making a big batch of bread and pizza dough. So this is all things big batch cooking. We have finally cool weather here in upstate New York, and I'm trying to plan ahead for the next couple days. So I'm doing a quadruple batch of bread. That should make me 4 large loaf pans of bread. I'm also doing some pizza dough in the bread machine, and if things hold out, I'm also going to make some sourdough bread. So a lot on my agenda. I'm just gonna get going here. So the first thing I'm gonna start with is the pizza dough. I'm using my bread machine. This is a 2-pound pan, so I can do a large enough batch in here for our family. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. We have 8 kids, so there's 10 mouths that we're feeding every day, and just a small cookie sheet pan does not cut it anymore for us. So in order to use a bread machine to make this pizza dough, we need at least the 2-pound size, and this works pretty well. So I'm going to start out with 2 cups of warm water. We'll put the 2 cups of water right in the bottom of the bread machine pan. Thank you, Mary.
Warm water.
That's right, nice and warm. I'll put all the recipes down in the description below, but if you're looking for a printable version, I'll put the link for that also in the description below. So just make it convenient for you guys. Next, we need 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of, oh, got a clump in there. Yep, you can dump that in for me. Whee! Okay, go ahead, add 1 tablespoon of sugar. Dump that right in. Excellent. So the next ingredient is oil. I normally use olive oil or grapeseed oil, but unfortunately I'm out of both of those today. So I am going to be doing vegetable oil. You need 1/3 of a cup of oil. I'm not measuring. I've made this enough that I know approximately. Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. That's good. That's about 1/3 of a cup. Real professional measuring here.
Cool.
You think that's pretty cool?
Is the butter next?
No, the butter's for another recipe. So we're just getting the pizza dough first, guys. Mary, we need the bucket of flour next. Could you please get that for me? How many cups of flour do we need? Look at my recipe. How many cups of flour do we
Can I
need?
see flour?
7 to 9 cups of flour.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot of flour. So we're going to start with the smaller amount. We'll get our measuring cup right here. So how many of these did Mommy say we needed?
7 to 9.
7 to 9. So we're going to start with 7. Okay. And that's 1. Yep. Go ahead. Dump that in.
You use the back of the knife.
That's right. That's right. Mary, use the
Of a
back.
butter knife.
Right. Dump that right in. That's 1. Okay. Let's do another one.
And then I can level it off with a knife.
Level it. Keep it in the container, please.
Put it down a little more, please. Meowie. That's
Okay.
good. That's good at the level women. That's good.
Okay. 2. So we're going to start out with 6 cups in here. I will be adding more as this gets going, but we'll start out with 6. And then we also need 1 tablespoon, Mary, of yeast. Mary can do this one, honey.
How much is
1 tablespoon is just going to be right full to the top.
Can I dump a little in?
Okay, that's good, Mary.
Can I dump it?
No, I'm going to let Mary do this one. Go ahead, dump that in. All right. And now we're going to put this on the dough setting. On this particular machine, that's number 9. You can see it says dough. And Lily, can you hit the start button, please? Thank you. And now we're just going to let that start the process of mixing.
I like waxing.
But while that's going, now we're going to start our next recipe. Are you guys ready? Okay. The bread machine has mixed up that dough, and you can see it's really sticky in there. So it probably needs close to another cup. Let's see if I can hold this up and add this. A lot of this is going to depend on where you live and your humidity for the day. So today, because it's so dry here, it's probably going to use less flour than if it was on a humid day. way. Also, how you measure your flour can change all those ratios. So really just watch your dough. If it feels sticky, it probably needs a little bit more flour. And if it's too stiff, well, you added a little bit too much flour, you can add a little bit more water. Just let the machine keep mixing it. Sometimes the machine, if it's just needs to develop that gluten, that will be fine too. It's a lot of trial and error, and the more you do this, the more you'll realize what your dough should feel like when you've done it. So there, that's all fixed. Ready?
Yes! Yes!
First things first, we need 6 cups of water. That's a lot of water.
How much does it go up?
We're going to use this big one. We're going to go up to 6 cups.
Can I do water?
And it has to be warm water. And Mary, you can get the yeast ready.
How much?
I've got to look at my recipe in just a minute.
Recipe. 2 cups. 2 teaspoons yeast. 2 teaspoons.
No, I think it's probably 2 tablespoons.
Oh well, 2 tablespoons. Can I dump it in?
Okay, so there's our 6 cups of water. Whoa! Alright, this is going to be a huge batch. I hope it fits in this bowl. Okay, we need 2 tablespoons of yeast, so you can add that. Lily, go ahead and add, that's going to be 2 full one of those. Okay? Lillian, we're going to do 3/4 cup of sugar. So that's one of these, and then I'm going to move it, and let me get the sugar for you. Okay, let's get that sugar. We gotta do a full one. Yeah, it's okay. That's good. We'll do that as half. And let's do, now we'll do a 1/4. We're gonna do butter instead of oil.
Oh yes, but it's just like oil.
Okay, that's good. Add that in. Thank you. Okay, put the lid on that. That's good enough.
Now is butter next for the...
Just like that.
Let's see, where's the recipe? Oh, it's so cool. Yes, it is. Mom, can I mix a little bit for the clubs? What's
Yeah,
for
you can
next?
start mixing
What's
that.
next?
Okay, next.
I might need to warm this up again.
Yeah, go ahead and put that in the microwave. That's going to be 3/4 cup of melted butter. We also need to add, that's fine, 2 tablespoons of salt. Go ahead, just
I
put it
guess
right
you
in.
made a mistake to talk today.
Did. 2. Got that? Just dump that right in. Thank you. So we have our sugar, our salt. Mary's going to add the butter. That's
We both help.
careful.
As with Dad's
Whoa, closer, so it doesn't splatter. We don't like mess. Mess is bad. Mess makes more work in the long
Can I
run.
help?
Yeah, 18 to 21 cups of flour.
Wow.
That's a lot of flour. Okay, we're gonna move this stuff out of the way.
Can I dump in the flour?
Well, we're gonna work together on the flour.
Because that's going to be a lot of flour.
We're gonna start with
Can
12. I'm just gonna start dumping them in, and then you guys can start mixing. Ready? 1. Hang on, help me count. 2, 3, 12, and then we're gonna add.
Some of those.
This
Can
is.
I? What
Yep.
is it called?
This is.
Seeds.
What was this called? I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna add this mixture. It's like corn, sunflowers, flax seeds, sunflower seeds, a whole mixture. It's almost like birdseed, but it's not birdseed. It's for human consumption. I don't remember what it's called, but I picked this up at my bulk food supplier. I have a 50-pound bag of it. It lasts a really long time, but it adds like that multi-grain effect to the bread, which the kids like and Art really likes. So for this size batch, I'm gonna add 2 cups of this. 1 and 2. Okay, girls, carefully. We gotta mix this up now.
This is tough. Good thing we have aprons. Mommy, can you mix now? I'll pour the...
Mary, you wanna give it a shot?
Hey, Mom. Can I mix it again?
See, you mix it up
Mommy.
into like this.
Can I mix it? You can both help mix. Mommy.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff.
great large batch of bread.
Yeah, yummy. Oh my God.
I already am getting hungry, Mom.
Me too.
By making food. Can I try now?
Keep stirring.
Stir. We don't have to hurt the dough.
This is looking good. It has an hour and 24 minutes. It'll still knead for quite a while, but it doesn't look like it needs any more flour or anything. You can see the top is smooth and it's not sticky whatsoever. So this is good. We're just gonna let this do its magic and start the rising cycle, and we'll use that for later, but that was really easy.
Mom, it's Mom's turn to mix it.
Can I mix it, Mommy, now?
You wanna try mixing? You're gonna get a workout with this one.
Yeah, Mommy. This is tough dough.
Lillian, is it fun?
And this one to scrape off the edges.
Lillian, is it fun?
And scrape it off the edges.
Yeah. Why would I?
Time to refill the flour bucket. That took care of that. Fill it right up, Mary.
I'm glad Daddy left this up here.
Yes, that's for
He
sure.
probably knew we were going to finish up the bucket.
Yeah, well, Mommy told him I was making a lot of stuff and I was going to need all the flour up here today. If you haven't seen the video on our bulk food storage, I'll also put that link down in the description below. You can see how we store our flour. We buy it in 50-pound bags. We have it in storage down in the basement, but then we have these Cambro containers right here that we use upstairs. These Cambro containers work really, really well for storing the flours, keeping it bug-free, but when we're doing big batch cooking like this, I need my big 50-pound jug of flour up here. We just go through that much flour. But check out that video. A little bit more there, Mary. Get that in there. Okay, we'll call that good. We're still going to be using more, so we'll fill it up before we go put that back downstairs. Thank you, Mary. We'll put that in there and put the lid on. Soaking up the last of the flour.
Why do you need to go up?
Because you don't want to be wasteful. Oh, it's beautiful. It is done. Now I need to just shape these into the loaf pan. So I'm going to grease my loaf pans and get these all set to rise. This recipe lets me not do the 2 rise thing. There's really no right or wrong. If you want to do a 2 rise, you certainly can. On this recipe, because I'm always making it when I'm in a hurry, I'm going to shape this dough right after I finish kneading it, put it in the loaf pans, let it rise in the loaf pans, and then immediately bake it. There they go. Now they're gonna sleep.
Ow.
Can you say sleep?
No.
Sleep. They're going to sleep and they're going to get big. And then we will cook them and we will eat them and they will go down to our belly.
No.
Yum.
Can I see?
Wanna see?
Mm-hmm.
They're sleeping.
No, they are. It's secret.
Shh, they're sleeping.
Hello.
Night night. Night night, Brad. Hope they have a good sleep. Wow, that was fast. That rose really fast. It wasn't even done yet, but we're gonna go ahead and turn this into pizza.
There we go.
Okay, go ahead, Lily.
Dad.
What's that?
He's wearing two right-sided boots of different colors. Come on.
Spread, spread, spread everywhere. Kind of like you're painting, but you're painting oil. Don't get it on your dress. Okay.
It was a mess. Got it even.
Yep. Spread it everywhere.
It's like a pizza. Oil all around you.
Look at that. That just rose in just that little bit of time.
How long was it?
Just pulling it out, like 5 minutes.
It's too far. We gotta.
No, we
have to
need
get
a extension.
We'll just have to hurry.
There, that's spread out real nice, and I'll just go ahead, top it, cook it, and then we're gonna have that for lunch. I will be back as soon as we finish lunch. Get the little munchkins down for a nap and finish up this baking. The bread is rising over here, so wow, that's rising really fast too. So that's gonna be ready to bake pretty soon. I'm having it pick up the heat while while I have the stove on for the pizza. I'm letting it pick up the heat. Get those loaves, although it's not really all that cold in here, but anything to activate that yeast, make it faster, and then I'll bake these. But I will be back after I feed this crew, and we will continue on baking. Okay, the pizza's cooking. It's in the oven right there. And while the kids are out there swinging, I'm gonna throw another batch of dough into the bread machine with hopes that this can get done. And this batch in particular, I want to freeze and have that for, you know, just emergency use only, and just have it for whenever we need it.
So this is what happened.
It's static.
It's really cool. It is really cool.
Yeah, it's static.
It's like the metal shrapnel.
Oh, oh, you just knocked off some long ones. It is. It's just like the whoa! It's a couple flew off and hit Mary.
Wow.
Look how, hold it up now. Look how long they are. They're long and spiky. That is the coolest. One last thing for my agenda today. That is making my sourdough cinnamon swirl bread. This is my starter, and I fed it a couple days ago. It seems like it's still got enough oomph to it to get this going. I did leave it on the counter for quite a while last time before I fed it, and it was really slow in rising. It tasted fine, but it was really slow. So I went ahead and fed this, reactivated it. If you guys haven't done sourdough starter, go the links down to this recipe, how I work it, and all of that down in the description. You can watch how I do, or actually you can read all about how I do that. But for today, I'm going to be doing a batch and a half of sourdough. That should be enough to fill up 2 of those loaf pans. We finished lunch, and the bread is almost ready to bake. You can see how much has risen. So this is almost ready. Once this is done, I'm going to pop these out, and I'll use 2 of these loaf pans to make more sourdough. And the pizza dough is almost done, so that will be ready to plop into a freezer bag. I think I can fit 4 in here at one time. Let's see if I can do.
That's a lot of bread.
Ooh, they definitely look done. Wow, okay. That was 25 minutes, and I've got to pop these out. Oh, they look amazing. So I want to show you guys what the difference a pan can make. So we have these loaves here, and you can see they're really nice and golden brown. The bottom is brown. I mean, it just looks totally well done. And then this one here, the end was more brown. These were all put in at the same exact time. In fact, this one went in about a minute earlier than these guys. And this one is very pale on the bottom. The top is the same as the other ones, but the sides and the bottom are very almost to the point where it's a little under. And the difference is this pan here is the one. I have 3 of those for these 3 loaves here. This is an aluminum pan by wherever number 2773. It's a vintage pan. It's 11 by 7.5 by 2 3/4. So that's the size pan that we used for these 3 loaves. You can see for 25 minutes it was just perfect. But then this pan here is much heavier. I don't see a brand name on this one. This one I just picked up at a garage sale. It's about the same size, maybe just a smidgen smaller. You can see the ends are tapered where this one is straight. But you can tell this one is a lot lighter than this one. So if you're cooking these, I said 25 minutes for cooking time. 25 minutes is perfect for my aluminum bread pans, but 25 minutes may not be quite enough if you're using one of the heavier pans, as you can see here. Baking has so many variables, and I certainly don't want to ever scare you guys away from this, but just looking at a recipe saying, oh, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, really it all depends. It depends on the humidity, the moisture, you know, how many cups of flour you're going to put in there. You know, if it's really humid, you're not going to get you're going to have to add more flour to it than you would if it was on a dry day. And the same thing with the baking. I can tell you 25 minutes, but if your pan is heavier than mine or your oven runs at a different temperature, it's going to have different results. So don't be scared of that. Just be alert that there may be some changes and compensate for it. If it needs a few extra minutes, cook it for a few extra minutes. It's not gonna hurt it. And if it looks like it's in there too brown, pull it out a little bit sooner. I want these videos to inspire you guys to tackle something new, something maybe you're not comfortable with, and try it, because it can make such a huge difference, just the experience factor. And you're going to do it the first time or the third time, and you're going to be like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be. And then you're going to start realizing that the time, the numbers, the precision isn't always how things work out for the best. You have to use your current circumstances and your current judgment to really have a successful loaf of bread. In this case, 25 minutes was good for one set of pans, but not so good for the other one. So just use your best judgment. Have fun baking and cooking in the kitchen, because there is nothing like homemade bread, and it's not hard, a little time consuming, but such a blessing to your family for them to be able to come home, have homemade bread, have it in the freezer, and you're all stocked up and ready for a week. And I know I'm going to feel better having this put away for my family. We've got one double batch of pizza dough in the freezer. I've got 4 loaves of bread and 2 large loaves of the cinnamon swirl bread. So I'm good for a week. I wish I could say it was more, but a week is about what we're gonna get out of this, and I'll end up cooking more throughout the week. But this will get us through at least a week. If something happens to mom, or mom's out in the garden, I don't have time to, you know, bake bread, I can always tell the kids, make fried egg sandwiches, do tuna fish, do peanut butter and jelly. They have the makings that they can survive and be successful, even if mom is doing something else. And that's the blessing of big batch cooking. I should do it more often than I do. It was today, the weather worked out perfectly, my schedule worked out perfectly to get this done, and I am feeling so optimistic heading into the weekend, having this all done. So we just finished dinner, and I'm going to try to get this sourdough cinnamon swirl bread done. It's been rising in the pot. Look at that. It looks really good. It actually rose a lot faster than I anticipated, but it's a good thing. We have to head out for a 7 o'clock appointment tonight, so I'm trying to get this done before the appointment, so when I come home, I can bake this. Otherwise, I will be up very late tonight. So with the thing with sourdough is planning ahead. And this is doing pretty good. if you can't gather, it's almost 11:30 at night. The bread is finally, let's just put it this way. This mommy is tired, and I say the bread has risen enough. It probably could rise a little bit more, but I'm not staying up all hours. And that's the one thing. Every sourdough is a little bit different. Sometimes they rise faster, sometimes they rise slower. This one, as I had mentioned earlier in this video, the sourdough was a little bit on the sluggish side because it had been sitting out for several weeks before I got it really active again. So I'm not surprised it took a little bit longer than I would have liked, although, let's see, 5 hours really isn't, 5 hours isn't really all that bad. There it is right there. So I'm gonna bake this in a 350 degree oven. I'm gonna carefully peel this off because I don't want to lose all the rise that I put into this. But it looks really good and smells really good. And I'll pop that in the oven for about a half hour, 25-30 minutes, and then show you guys what it looks like when it's done. It is after midnight. I think the bread is finally done. I want to make sure when I'm making this that it's fully cooked because I have memories when I was a kid that it wasn't cooked enough and it was gooey, and some people really like it gooey in the middle. I have some kids that like it gooey, but I really just like it fully cooked. So here it is. It looks like it's done to me. Let's see if I can pull this out without burning my hand and showing you guys. There it is. These are heavy loaves. That's one. And then number 2, you gotta get comb from this end, mister. Okay, there we go. Look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? Even though it exploded out of the pan, it's gonna be oh so good. One trick when you're making cinnamon bread, and it inevitably makes a mess out of your pan, like this one, do not let this cool. I'm gonna wanna flip this out ASAP. So this can flip out, because once that juice right on there hardens, it's going to wreck your bread. So you have to dump this out as soon as you bring it out. So as soon as you pull this out of the oven, you need to remove it from the pan and put it on a cooling rack, or you will never get this out. Here we go. This is going to make a mess, a delicious mess. Okay, what did I tell you guys? It sticks, and it sticks fast. So grease it well and flip it as soon as you can. I'm trying to be real careful with my knife here. Usually it's just the one side that leaks that sticks. In this case, it's over here. Sticky, sticky. Ah! Now the loaf is breaking. It could have been a lot worse. And yes, I am totally eating this tonight at midnight. Amazing. On to pan number 2. Let's see if this one comes out a little bit better.
Considering
It could have been a
lot worse. Boom.
rip the bottom.
It looks pretty good. That looks pretty nice.
Look at that. All right, all yours. You can have the caramel. There you go. All yours. Hot. Be careful. Don't burn yourself. Doesn't that just look amazing? Oh, that's breakfast. Well, it's 12:15. It is officially the next day. That was a long bread baking session. This mama's gonna go to bed now. I'm gonna leave this out to cool. I'll just lightly cover it until morning and then I will go ahead and freeze it. When I make these, I usually slice them after they're cool, slice them, and then the kids will eat these usually on the weekends with some scrambled eggs. So they have cinnamon toast with scrambled eggs, and it just makes just a really nice weekend breakfast. But all the recipes some will be in the description, but all the links for printable versions will be down in the description below if you guys want to try making any of these. As always, thanks so much for watching, supporting this channel. If you're new here, welcome. As always, I hope you are having a fabulous day, and I'll see you for our next video.